Hey guys, starting out today doing a little sea glass foraging, and I wanted to bring you along. A lot of people are curious how I find so much. Well, the whole end of that beach and wrapped around to the other side, there's usually no sea glass, but oddly enough on this side, there is. So I've already found a few pieces. I'll show you what I found so far. So these guys are what I just found within 5 minutes of being on the beach. And the course that I walk is, I don't know if you can see that boat, but it's all along this end here and up to about where that boat is. If the tide's still down low enough, I will wrap around and go around that cove on the other side. But we'll see what we can find out this way first. So one thing I do is make sure that the tide is low enough. And as you can see, it's low tide right now. Low tide will be in about 2 hours. So there's a little piece of pottery. I don't collect too much pottery, but it is an older piece. If it has a design on it, I'm more prone to grab it, but we'll leave that for someone else to find. Like any foraging, it is essentially a form of foraging. Like when you're foraging for mushrooms, you don't see one and you don't see any, and all of a sudden you see a ton of them. So that's kind of the same way with sea glass, is you're just training your eyes to see those things. Alright, so I just spotted a nice piece of green, and these are really hard to see and find. So this is a beautiful green. I don't know if you can see that. And anytime I find a nice piece, I want to just kind of look around that spot really well. I find that remembering where you find the pieces, if you come back, there's usually going to be more. As the tide moves the sand and the gravel around, it's unearthing all of those buried pieces. I don't see any more, but doesn't mean there aren't any more. I just spotted a little piece of clear. It looks to be a little less frosted than I like, so I'm going to leave this one for someone else. Actually, my rule of thumb is if it has writing on it, I'll keep it, and I just noticed some writing, so we will keep this one. It's partially frosted, but it's not as nice as I'd like. The one thing I've been seeing a lot of is jellyfish washed up on shore. There's one right there, there's one over here, and we'll probably pass a ton more. And spotted a nice piece of brown under this rock here. And some people might be like, how'd you see that from up there? But trust me, your eyes just get trained. I also just found a piece of clear, but this is just way too not frosted enough for me, and there's no letters on it, so we're going to leave that for someone else. And I'll put this clear piece up there too. Maybe they'll feel like they hit the jackpot. So for an idea of what my eyes are doing, when I'm walking, I'm looking under here, I'm looking in these cracks, I'm looking this way, I'm looking both to my right and to my left, I'm looking under, I'm looking above, and just kind of trying to get a gaze of as far as my eyes can see. I just stopped here to put my bag down so I could put my hair up, and when I went to pick my bag up, I saw this little piece of blue sticking out. Hopefully I can get it. So the blues I usually keep even if they aren't frosted, just because you can make some really beautiful things with this blue. And this one is not frosted really at all, but we're going to keep it anyway. This is a little bag that I got with my tent. So it would hang in your tent on these little hooks here. Let me take this off and I'll show you what it actually looks like. There's these little hooks that would hang up in my tent, but there's also loops. So I just take my little carabiner for my keys. So I get my keys and my carabiner, and I just hook it together. And then I just carry that along with me. I've got my sunscreen, I got my, my phone case, my sunglasses, I got a little knife in there. And then what's great about it is this mesh part drains all the water and the dirt right out. Pretty sweet. Best beach bag ever. And just as I stood up and turned around, I noticed this piece. Now this is most likely clear and has just gotten tumbled in amongst, the seaweeds and other things that has made it change that color green. So what I do is when I get them home, I take and put them in bleach, and that helps to, get the slime off so I know what color they actually are. All right, moving on. A little piece of brown in here. Not frosted enough for me. And the reason that I do keep them, if there's writing on them, I'm sure you've figured out, but then I can kind of do the research and see if I can't find out where that bottle came from and how old it is. So I like keeping anything with a mark on it, even if it's not frosted. What a beautiful shore to just walk on. Nobody's out here. It's just me picking up sea glass. There's a slight breeze and the fog's rolling off. Boy, it was so foggy you couldn't even see the water when I first got out here. Here's another piece of blue. So more than likely this is just someone from the beach probably throwing their bottles out here. But there is definitely some nice frosted blues out here also. I'm just collecting those because, like I said, I can still craft with them, and they're still really pretty. Yeah, I'm just going to leave these ones, but it looks like that's the culprit right there. Well, those edges are smooth, so they've been rolling around for longer than just the other day, but they're not frosted enough to sell as sea glass. I suppose we'll take them because that's, honestly, guys, I saw this a couple weeks ago, and it's the second time I found it, so I'm going to pick it up this time. There's another little jellyfish right there. And another one right there. Sorry, I didn't bring my selfie stick. It helps stabilize my camera a little better, but this was kind of like a spur-of-the-moment filming. Someone's out there in a kayak. I want to do that big time. Come out here in a kayak and just cruise the shore. A couple pieces here, but they're too shiny. There's a piece of green and some clear. I'm going to leave those for someone else. See some green right here. Nice piece there. And a piece of pottery I just spotted. I am going to take this one because it has a design on it. And the design looks hand painted. And I do think that this one is worth saving. It's the back side and the front side. And get a nice greenie. And there's one we're not going to keep. Seems like that fog is rolling back in. Where'd you go, buddy? I just saw you. There you are. That is a cool piece of green. It's got, looks like it was a 12 ounce or something like that. Really nice. We'll keep that one. Beautiful bottom. Beautifully frosted. And the fog decided to go back out. It's coming in and going out. Oh, did you hear my knees pop? Looks like that was a quart of something.